NTU also released the data on internet use in Singapore. The survey suggests that people agree more that there is more fake news online now. It also notes that WhatsApp is still the most widely used social media platform. People were surveyed over 5 periods starting from December 2020. As we give you the findings, Associate Professor Edson Tandoc joins us now from NTU's Week in We School of Communication and Information. She's here to shed more light on this issue. Professor, the graph, we can take a look at that now. If we can see if we can pull that up from the studio. This graph shows, okay, we cannot show it, but we can describe it. It shows how strongly people agree with the statement that there is a great deal of fake news online. Could you explain what has happened in the timeline according to this research?
So what we've done is we've done surveys every 6 months since December 2020. We've measured levels of agreement with the statement that there's a lot of fake news, so much fake news online right now. I think while we see some slight changes across the 5 surveys we've done from December 2020 to December 2022, I would say that these numbers aren't really very significantly different, but what drives them maybe is what's changing. In the first 2 time periods when we were deep into the pandemic, we've seen viral posts about home remedies for COVID-19 that wasn't backed by science. Later on, we saw claims against COVID-19 vaccines. In December 2020, about 63% of our participants agreed to that statement that there was so much fake news online. Now, that's about the same percentage in December 2022, 2 years after, but that may have been driven by heightened awareness when it comes to the problem of fake news.
Professor, during the pandemic, did people's behavior at all alter when it comes to fake news?
I would say what the pandemic has done is it made us more aware of this problem. Part of that, I think, is all the numerous initiatives, discourses that were online or in the media to combat fake news. I think these may have helped increase public awareness. We've witnessed during the pandemic that fake news can be harmful, and I hope that lesson stays. One of the indicators that we track at NTU is what people do when they come across fake news online. Most people still ignore fake news, but over the years, we've seen the percentage of those who say they ignore fake news slowly decrease from about 73% in December 2016 to about 54% in July 2021 when we last asked this question. So I think what's good is that more and more people are becoming more proactive, although it's still the majority saying that they ignore fake news when they come across one.
So I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch those figures exactly, but the suggestion is that more people are being proactive in acting against fake news when they can perceive it as fake news. But we're still getting many people falling for fake news or signing up for scams. If they're more aware, why are we still seeing people falling victim to fake news?
I think that's a good and very important question. What we hope to see is this heightened awareness about fake news translating into more caution and hopefully more ability, higher ability to detect fake news. It seems we're not there yet. In our surveys at NTU, we also consistently find that the majority report they are confident about their skills in detecting fake news. But we also find that for some people, this high level of confidence does not always match actual ability. Also, those who create fake news and scams are also becoming more and more sophisticated with lower barriers to using AI. For example, it's been much easier to manipulate photos, audios, videos. We always like to say that pics or it didn't happen. Now it's easy to create pics of things that didn't really happen. So I think we also must be keeping up.
Professor, it's hard to know what to trust. And another item that your team looked into was the use of social media, of WhatsApp as an example. Apparently, WhatsApp is used a great deal to spread fake news, more so than even Facebook or YouTube. What kind of role is WhatsApp playing when it comes to the spread of fake news?
It has always been a challenge because messaging apps like WhatsApp they are more difficult to observe. Even for us doing research, understanding the kinds of fake news that may be spreading on messaging apps like WhatsApp has been very challenging. Also on messaging apps, we tend to exchange messages with close contacts, people that we trust, people who may be thinking the same way that we do. And so the messages that are exchanged within these platforms may feel more personal. Some people might trust them more because they come from people that are already within our circle.
Professor, two points you mentioned earlier. You said the high level of confidence people have when it comes to identifying fake news is not actually matched by their ability to handle it. And secondly, however sophisticated we get in terms of targeting fake news, scammers are always one step ahead. Given these multiple difficulties, what can authorities do to make us less susceptible to this online plague?
I think one thing is we really need to continue holding platforms accountable, that they should ensure that their platforms maintain information integrity. But second, we also need to invest in equipping the population, the public, with not only awareness, but also the necessary skills. Now there are different demands for different types of literacy. It's not just enough to know how to use technology, but now we also need to be able to sort different types of contents. And some of them can be very persuasive. And with emerging technologies, I think we need to prepare the public to be able to navigate information coming from these emerging technologies.
Professor Tandoc, thank you very much for your perspectives this evening. Associate Professor Edson Tandoc there, NTU Week in We School of Communication Information.